have made the first move. We have visited the bar in the Democratic Republic of Congo. They have 27 bars, 27 bars. So here you have just one bar. I will tell you that in one country, they have 27 bars, 27. And so one of the things we are going to be struggling to deal with is whether to admit each bar at a time or to admit the national bar. So you have the size, some of their bars are the size of your Tanganyika Law Society. Yes. And that brings me to the topic, cross-border practice, networking, and opportunities to members. Without our regional bars, how are we going to network? Without our regional bars, how are we going to get these opportunities? Today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to submit to you that as lawyers, we must follow the business. The days where you sit in your law firm and think that people are going to look for you are over. We must follow the business. And the only way we follow the business is by working together and having a voice that speaks for us. But I know that there's been a lot of misinformation about the East African Law Society. And so today I want to clarify a few things and then be able to answer specific questions. What is the future? Where are we going? Tunaenda wapi? And when I ask the question, tunaenda wapi, I am not referring to a conversation that His Excellency, the late Robert Mugabe, had with a journalist. At a certain point, Robert Mugabe was asked by a journalist, when are you saying bye to your people? And Robert Mugabe said, where are they going? Today I want to answer the question of where are we going? What is the future of legal practice? And what do we need to do? So let me first start with the last 16 months. I was elected about 16 months ago. And I'm not at this forum providing any sort of accountability. The accountability will be at the annual general conference. But I just want to show you the potential of what we can do if we focus. Let me just get the technology right. So first, the East African Law Society is about 25 years old. It was formed in 1995. Let's all be clear about that. 26 years old. I want to pay tribute to the founding members in this room. I don't know whether Mama Maja is here. Is she here? Yes. To all the founding members, thank you for the wisdom. We stand on your vision and we continue to push that vision of the East African Law Society. So it was formed by Law Society of Kenya, Law Society of Uganda, and Law Society of Tanganyika. Those are the people who formed the East Africa Law Society. The story is long, but we shall share it another time. Now, the East Africa Law Society exists for 3 specific mandates. One is to build the professional capacity of members. I've had speakers here before me refer to professional capacity. That is one of the fundamental reasons for which we are formed, to build the professional capacity of members. And we cannot look any further. We just held a very high-level engagement on oil and gas in Tanzania, and I think it was attended by over 300 lawyers. That is what we are speaking to. The fact that as a regional bar, we can bring these opportunities closer to our members. Now, one of the things we continue to do is the fact that we have tried to specialize and try and break our members into different sort of sectors. Why? We are 30,000 members. Let me first of all congratulate all of you for including on your CV that you're members of East African Law Society. Whether you pay membership is another thing. But all on your CVs, you all include your members of East African Law Society. We are about to start asking clients to confirm with us before they can give you work. Okay. So one of the things we have done is to try and have what we call East Africa Law Society Young Lawyers Capacity Building. and mentorship series. There have been over 10 webinars in the last 16 months, just targeting our young lawyers. And what we do with those webinars is the fact that we ensure that the panels are composed of highly specialized people who are coming from all the countries from the East African Law Society. And if you want to know what has been done, I don't want to spend so much time because I know we are behind on schedule. You can just go to the East African Law Society YouTube page or go to the East African Law Society Facebook page and you'll find a lot of information there. That is just a small video of our East African Law Society. I may not play the videos now because of time. I'll play some at some point. The other is in-house counsel mentorship series. If you're an in-house counsel, we have an in-house counsel committee where we have brought together all practitioners who are practicing as in-house counsel. And as you can see from your screen, you can see the number of webinars we have hired just speaking to in-house counsel needs. The other is the Women in Law series. If you look at what we've done in terms of women in law, and let me recognize the presence of our Deputy Secretary General, who also represents women lawyers. Madam Hafsos, please stand up. I'm sure she's Tanzanian. So if you just look at the amount of work that has been done for just women lawyers, and you can talk to about 10 or 15 webinars, and those are just examples. If you look at that, you look at coaching tips for women lawyers to succeed in a competitive environment, women in leadership. There's just so much information. It's just up to you to be able to access the information. Then we have what we call ELS Specialized Capacity Building Initiative. Now, what we mean by ELS Capacity Building Initiatives, we have said our members practice along specific practice groups. So you have mining, you have taxation, you have energy, you have regional integration, you have oil and gas, you have all these sort of committees that we have set up. And so if you practice along these lines, please just contact us and we'll add you to the committees. So those committees are holding webinars every 2 months to speak to specific issues in these sectors that they practice. If you practice in taxation, if you practice in mining, if you practice in project finance, if you practice in energy, if you practice in any area, we have a committee for you. Because the only way we can continue to engage our members, considering that they are bringing you together along your practice areas. And so that is one of the initiatives that is happening. Now, the other really is monitoring the state of rule of law and regional integration in East Africa. The East African Law Society has spoken out on rule of law issues in the region, and we continue to exercise that mandate. And perhaps at this point, let me explain you why it is important to have a borderless society. Tanganyika Law Society is based here. The president is based here. Kenya Law Society is based in Kenya. The president is based in Kenya. The East Africa Law Society is borderless. That provides an opportunity and gives the East Africa Law Society that opportunity to speak to rule of law issues. And we have not shied away from speaking to rule of law issues. I appear on several TV stations speaking on law issues. That's just one of them in the region. But also, we exercise that mandate by going to the East African Court of Justice. As the East African Law Society, we have gone to the East African Court of Justice. We have over, I think, 10 cases. The most recent case we have that was filed last year is against the government of Uganda when they shut down the internet. So we have done that at the East African Law Society. So remember, there are two things. There are things you can determine as a person. cannot be determined by you alone practicing in your farm. The only people who can speak to rule of law are societies. Because once you have a collective voice, they will be able to listen to you. I realized this very early on in my practice, and therefore I started to participate in law society activities, because I realized while I can do capacity building, I can save money and go on a training course somewhere and build my capacity. When my colleague is arrested, me alone cannot be able to be the change. And that is why you will hear that most presidents, your phone can never be off. Because anytime you have to be called, some lawyer has been arrested, all sorts of, issues. But the only reason they listen to you is because you're the president of a law society. And therefore it's incumbent upon us to remember that the East Africa Law Society is a borderless institution and provides the best foundation for rule of law. So there are so many press statements. I'm trying to skip most of these things because of time. That is the ELS regional integration. I want to go to where are we, why we must work together. And this is where I want to focus on. Ladies and gentlemen, there are things happening on the global scene that we must pay attention to. If you don't pay attention to them, they'll pay attention to you when the time comes. If you look at the increasing regionalization and globalization of economies, it is speaking to one thing. Let's just give an example. The new Asian Pacific trade bloc is uniting 15 countries, 5 times the size of the EU. It has 2.3 billion people and accounts for 29% of the global gross domestic product. We are not talking about the African continental free trade area. 1.3 billion people, 55 countries, combined GDP of about $3.4 trillion. If you look at the North American free trade area, you have the United States, Mexico, Canada agreement, and you're talking about a population of 500 million people. Now come to the East African community where you and I are. Just recently, DRC joined the East African community, and we are now talking about a market of 280 million people. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the point about this project. This is the point about this slide. Numbers matter. Stop to think for a moment. Are all these people coming together just because they want to come together? They are coming together for a specific purpose. They are coming together because numbers matter. Now, if numbers matter, will our national law societies be able to negotiate for us at the international stage? And I just want to give you a specific example. Let me use my example of Uganda Law Society. Uganda Law Society has about 4,000 members. Only 4,000 members. Okay? 4,000 members. Will Uganda Law Society be able to negotiate for me when it comes to negotiating with international law firms? Will they listen to a society with only 4,000 members? Just think about it for a moment. But this is the magic with the East Africa Law Society. When we combine as one, Tanganyika Law Society, Zanzibar Law Society, Burundi, Rwanda, Kenya, we are 30,000 members strong. They will listen. So some of the things we complain about here, we cannot have solutions for them unless we speak with one voice and unless we are united. Forget about it. For me, I don't like talking shops. I don't like to go to conferences and just speak, and then you go to the next forum, and then you wait for the next AGM. That is the reason I contested for the East Africa Law Society position. I was tired of just meeting people in Zanzibar, or the next time you'd hear we have another conference somewhere. how are you going to do business? You cannot unite for mediocrity. If you're going to unite to be a force to reckon with, it must come with high standards. And we must be clear about this. We must be clear about this. We're not just going to unite and wallow in our mediocrity. No. No. So if you think about it, the only way we can respond to the challenges that we have is by uniting. When we are 30,000 strong, 30,000 members strong, they will listen to us. That is why as East African Law Society, we are approaching DRC. And they're already willing to join. Now, when I was in DRC, I was struggling with myself speaking to members in DRC. They were telling me we are 27 bars. And I was thinking to myself, but I still have a problem with Tanganyika Law Society members. I'm on a mission convincing the Democratic Republic of Congo with 27 bars to join. And I still have a problem. How can we say we are together when we are not? What is the problem? Do we understand the global dynamics? Are we waiting to be eaten, then we complain? Do you want to wait to first realize that winter has come for you, then you complain? We shouldn't have that attitude. We should not wait. We should have solutions. And that is where we are saying numbers matter. The second thing that is happening, increasing globalization of legal services. And I want you to pay attention to that slide. Legal services are great. What is happening there? People are now selling their services. As a matter of fact, what is happening is that trade missions are now being organized for people to come and sell legal services. What that means to you and me who practice here is that it is going to lead to increased competition. As I have heard the previous speakers complaining about international law firms, it's going to lead to increased competition. Definitely it will lead to increased competition. And then we will be pushed from the work that we do. And the questions I ask on that slide are the questions I'm asking. Who is going to speak for us? Speak for us. If we are not united, who will speak for us? Immediately I was appointed president, I got a very, because they know that if we are united, we pose a very strong force. So members, ladies and gentlemen, we have to unite to face the bigger issues that are going to affect our practice before it is too late. The last slide I want to talk about is rule of law. You know, there are people who don't care about rule of law. There are people who say, oh, as long as I am doing my practice, I don't really care what happens. But remember, your practice is about the law. And if the rule of law environment is being threatened, your practice is also being threatened. What specific benefit does the East African Law Society bring in terms of rule of law? It means if the rule of law environment is threatened in Tanzania, for instance, and the president of Tanganyika Law Society cannot speak out, who is going to speak out? I want you to think deeply about these things. Who will speak out? I know of someone who was president of Tanganyika Law Society. When he was campaigning, he said, East African Law Society, no, we don't need it. the society that came to his rescue at his point of need was East Africa Law Society. Some of these things are not said. But think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Rule of law is important to us. Rule of law is important to our people. We cannot shy away from the fact that we need to have the response is by ensuring that when we stand as East Africa Law Society, we stand united. And when we speak with one voice. That way, it doesn't matter who, it doesn't matter which president, they will have to listen. Lastly, and ask the question, what is your personal role as a Tanzanian lawyer? The foundations of this great society were built in 1995. The society has moved on for now 27 years. If you break the, what will you have? Today, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I submit to you that we are as strong as our society. We are as strong as a very strong East Africa Law Society. And anyone who threatens to break our East Africa Law Society, we should respond in equal measure. Because it is that society that will get us to where we want to be. Remembering always that united we stand, divided we fall. I thank you.
Asante sana, the President of East Africa Law Society, for a very nice presentation. I think I don't need to add anything from a presentation because we all heard what the President has said. We really need each other in a regional integration. We cannot stand on our own. The first session, we talked about mega projects, and we will also talk about having consulting integrate with other society. Society like this, the meetings, the seminars and training which they conduct every now and then is the only avenue where we can get to meet those partners having big law firms. Kwa hiyo sio kitu cha kucheza. Kama mnataka kubaki kwenye chambers, kama mlivyoambiwa hapa, chambers, kumbe chamber ni kauchochoro tu. Inaanza kuwa pembeni ya bar pale. Kama unataka na chamber, basi East Africa Law Society is not for you. But those who want to grow, those who want to go further, I thank you, Mr. President. Basi, kwa ufupi, let me invite a few questions from the podium.